think we're good, John.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start the November 6th, 2024 Planning and Zoning meeting. Nate, you want to do the roll?
Sure. Hoppy,
Here.
Shoemaker,
Here.
Kellogg,
Here.
Gallion,
Here.
McFarland,
Here.
Schrock.
Here.
Is it Lodi?
Lodi, yep.
Lodi. I thought it was Lodi.
Here.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I responded both.
Okay, is there any questions on the minutes from last meeting? If not, you get a motion to approve.
You make a motion.
Second.
Kellogg,
Yes.
Schrock,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Gallion,
Aye.
McFarland,
Aye.
Lodi.
Aye.
Aye.
Hoppy.
The rear. No dispense. I'll just say it.
Nobody's perfect.
For the record, I don't want Nate's job.
All right, Nate, you want to go over what's?
Yeah,
on the
so
agenda?
we've got an application here for variances for a proposed structure, 736 Diamond Alley. Brody D has on us the land. So there's a couple different variances going on. The dwelling unit, I'll call it, has a 10-foot setback requirement, and the garage would have a 20-foot setback requirement. We've run into a little bit of a weird section of our code here, so I'll back up a little more. 132505 of our village codes allows house trailers, mobile homes, house cars, camp cars, or similar type vehicles to be used as permanent places of abode if they meet certain conditions. Those conditions are that they have to be on a lot that's at least 4,000 square feet. This is fine, it's 7,500 square feet. The site shall have suitable parking area for off-street parking for at least 2 vehicles. They have that. Each house, trailer, mobile home, house, car, camp car, similar vehicle or structure shall have placed around the perimeter of it a skirting or panels constructed with suitable material so as to screen the area beneath the house, trailer, mobile home, house, car, camp car, etc. from view. Shall be properly connected with village sanitary sewer and village water. There was previously a single wide mobile home on this lot hooked up to utilities. Utilities are still there, good there. Shall not be inhabited by a greater number of occupants than that for which it was designed. Looking at one occupant.
Yeah, hold on. It could be, it's got a twin bed or a queen bed, so it could be 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's my cousin that she's been single pretty much her whole life. She is, has alcohol syndrome, and she needs she just needs a family member close by to keep tabs on her. So that's where this scenario came about. But yeah, so it would be one.
There's a permit that you got a copy of that they have to submit. So that condition's good. No part of any of these types of units shall be closer than 10 feet. That's where the 10-foot setback that I told you about. And then if a structure is attached or built around, it shall be constructed of similar materials as the house trailer and be generally of the same style and design. So those are the conditions. Where it gets complicated is it's in an R3 zoning district. So R3 has setback requirements of 20 feet for the front yard, 6 feet for the sides, and 20 for the rear. The other complicating factor is there's a minimum area of the principal building of 1,200 square feet for a single family dwelling. So initially when we talked about this, we had a lot of discussions on this. that I didn't think it would be possible, but then this 132505 came up and it's like, well, we have an ordinance saying you can do it. I've talked to Bob Hines, our solicitor, for some clarification. Unfortunately, he's out of town right now. I mean, he's not available right now to talk or to look into this. I don't know that the ordinances, after thinking about it some more, I don't think they necessarily conflict each other. I think the appropriate remedy would be the setback variances are easy to understand. My question is, do we look at another variance for the 1,200 square foot minimum living space? Since it is in the R3, and this 132505 has no standards for square footage.
This wouldn't be any wider than the house trailer that was originally there, would it?
Probably less, actually.
So,
Yeah,
could it be grandfathered in any way?
Well, no, it's not a single wide mobile home.
I would say it's similar.
It's similar, but it's a different
classification.
Yeah.
And isn't there a part in that code about one being there existing, the amount of time that has to lapse between the old one being taken out and the new one being put in?
Yeah.
I think we're beyond that.
There are provisions, if there's an old unit sitting on a lot, you wanna replace it, that there's another section that deals with that. But that doesn't pertain to this situation. You should all have the site. Yeah. So the other thing I wanna point out, if you see where the long concrete pad is, that's obviously where the mobile home's sat. If you go north of that, it drops off.
I drove out there, that's what
Directly
I
after the
figured that
pad,
was
it's
there's
pretty
like a
steep.
cliff.
So that's why everything's pushed out to the front. I don't have any concerns with the, several of the, obviously we've got some neighbors here. We sent out the surrounding property owner notifications, and I did get a call from Gwen Ool. She had some questions about it, just more so about the alley portion, whether that could be used to calculate setback or not. And I said, yeah, you own that now, that's your land, so yes, that can be used for your setback calculations.
Could that garage be put on the other end?
The elevation is unkind for that. So the west end of the lot elevated versus the Cox Street is probably about a 8-foot incline.
Well, the unit would be set right on the cement slab that's there, right?
Yeah, for utility purposes and just fitting of the lot, it's best suited just to sit where the previous home was. But if you put a home there, your access to get to the west end of that lot is, your flow through is restricted. And the approach to the garage from Cox Street would be, it'd be right at the same elevation. It would be easy parking, easy backing in and out. But and we did talk about putting it kind of, just shuffling the deck around, but that the way the lot goes up towards Forlow Street, it's an okay setting for like a yard, but it's really unkind for setting a structure on without a lot of excavation.
Do either of the neighbors, do you guys have something to say, or you just wanna know what's going on?
Yeah, just curious,
Just
wanted more
curious.
information, wanted to see structure.
We have a picture of it, Mandy, if you wanna see it.
I did see it earlier, but.
We thought,
I did.
okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you want to prove these?
So
Oh, I didn't see that.
this is well below, if we look at just square footage, it's well below what we've ever approved for the tiny homes.
Her sister caretakes for it, and she lives in Glen Mine.
in my mind, is it a question, is there a difference between
Now they have to relocate.
either a stick build or a manufactured off-site, like a JDM Structures, manufactures tiny homes? It comes in on skids, it's put on a foundation. Is there a difference between that and what this unit is, being trailer mounted? It's not a vehicle, but it is in a way, it's a tank vehicle, it's a camper type structure. I don't know, that's what I wanted Bob to look into.
Basically how it's in there.
They sort of conflict each other, but I don't know that they do either. I don't know that, maybe the answer is that you just look at the square footage as a variance, and then it's up to you guys to determine whether that's
Like even though.
approvable or not.
Are there any restrictions on mobile homes in the village? Like, does this meet the requirements that?
So yeah, it would meet, if there was one there, like if the one that was there previously was still there and he just wanted to replace it, it would be fine, he'd be fine to do that.
Yeah.
If he wanted to move one in now, it wouldn't because of the zoning. It would have to go into an R4,
Not an R3.
and this is an R3 zoning district.
Isn't the zoning mobile home already? What is it what's it state on the auditor's website?
That's their designation, our zoning, those don't
Gotcha.
jive up ever.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure single family residents they do, but yeah, so that's their use codes and things like that. Our zoning districts are completely separate. So this whole area is single family zoning, meaning one dwelling unit per lot.
Gotcha. What's the zoning for the cabins that are?
That was rezoned to special use district back whenever they did that originally. So that would come into these guys as a development plan and then
I
be up
sat
to them.
on planning and zoning when we approved that. when we
Yeah.
built
Yeah,
it.
that was- Yeah,
I remember
early
that.
2000s,
I remember
mid
that.
2000s.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of trailers down in there.
Yeah,
There's actually 4 or 5, plus the one here we're talking about.
I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
But I think.
Huh?
I said I never knew that.
So, as the lot is now without a variance, is it possible to put these structures in there, or would it be?
I don't think you could get
They got the square footage in the setback.
you couldn't with the terrain. Well, I mean, anything's possible with enough time and money.
Yeah.
Feasibly, no. Economically,
We
no.
need to try to do.
It would take a lot of development to.
Yeah.
So,
What they
I
ever
mean, the
use
lots
that land for nothing.
kind of turned the wrong way
Really, when it comes
to
down
be able to
to
meet
it.
all the setbacks
Yeah,
for
Why don't we
this
call it Diamond Alley?
lot.
Oh, I mean,
Is the
Diamond
setback
Alley
from
goes
Mandy's or
north
from
and
Mike's?
south,
Diamond
but
Alley.
it's on
So the
Coke.
front is
Yeah,
down
this is
here
actually-
on
there's
Coast
a-
On
Yeah.
Coke Street.
this
Yeah.
is the street, the other one
It
being
drops
on
off
back.
behind.
Okay.
Cause,
The other one is
Back.
like, it's
Battered.
yeah,
This
it's
is
like,
setback
I mean,
too.
it's.
To Mandy's
There's
house.
not,
Right.
I don't think you can have dirt built, I don't know if you're allowed to.
Yeah, I think that's-
Yeah, and I don't think you can put dirt.
Oh, okay.
It would be fine.
That one needs to run off of,
Mhm.
I mean,
And,
I don't know
Wildest
where it
meeting we've ever had.
and you couldn't put dirt in the back and fill, there's that,
You could, but it's.
I know there was an alley.
It would take an
through there.
obscene amount of dirt.
Utilities is right on there.
oh,
So you're just putting
Yeah.
more dirt on utilities.
Yeah, that kind of goes by my house, that alley.
If it was
I
a
think.
couple feet,
Yeah.
okay, but it's pretty
My house, that
significant.
the alley, it's.
yeah, I saw,
Yeah,
it's a cliff.
pretty steep.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put a little garage down
No.
there. No
Not
way.
on the Mandy.
I think the lot is basically
That lot's
built for a manufacturing trailer.
Yeah, it's built for what was already there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like somebody plotted it off just for that or something.
That garage that was in the picture, is that the one that's gonna be put in?
Correct.
Okay.
There's a shed, is the shed getting torn down?
All these houses are built up right in there.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah, so there's a shed there.
I would assume the shed's getting torn down.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're.
Yeah, there's,
It's probably, is the shed that's there, are you keeping that?
So it's mine, but it's on the pool section of the alley. that
Correct.
was
It's right
given to
here.
them. So that's
oh, okay.
weird. but it's been that way. And I reached out to the Bulls if I could buy or assume that section of the alley when that was all happening, and she said, absolutely not. So, here we are. The shed remains. And it's in usable shape, but it's old enough that if you try to move it, it'll probably just.
Yeah, it's,
But it is a skid shed, it's not a permanent structure. Right.
So I guess a couple comments I have is, you know, it's a nice looking trailer. And technically being a trailer, it would be a temporary structure, not a permanent structure. So I know we've kind of talked about that earlier. It's not a very densely populated area around it. So I don't really see a setback issue being encroaching on anything.
All of the other neighbors, you can see access on that row from Forlow Street, so it does land uniquely.
I don't personally see an issue with the setback either. I think the issue is the size of the trailer that's being proposed and how we have decided on other tiny homes or tiny structures in different areas. So we've declined one that was, what, 400 square foot? And said that that wasn't appropriate. We've approved some that are in the 650 to 800 square foot range. And if it's allowed here in the version that it is, a trailer that can be pulled out and isn't a permanent structure, as you mentioned, then in my opinion, it has applicability to any R3 lot. And in other neighborhoods that are zoned R3, is this what the village wants, or what we as a planning and zoning committee think is appropriate, or does it need to be in an R4, you know, area that's designated that way? So me personally, I have the size and the type of thing that is, that's my holdback. I do think that it needs to come for a variance from the size requirement for that specific district.
What is the square footage of what's being proposed?
256. 8 by 30.
it's a little,
It's a very efficient setup, and for the personality of my cousin, it's a great fit. Morehouse would be cumbersome for her to maintain. It's a really good fit for her scenario. And my cousin, her sister, just bought a house on Y Street that they were going to try to structure a variance so that they could put this home on Y Street, but the lot lines are tighter. And then that's when this all unfolds, like, well, we have this lot that already had a mobile home, obviously of different styling, but it's 500 feet away from her caretaker.
I agree with what Brett said. I don't really have an issue with the variance, the setback, but it is the size of the unit itself is well below what has been approved in the past by the board.
And the size in the past that we approved, and some of that was before was it just because you've got the big homes and the small homes? Was that the reason? This is unique. So this is sitting way off the, you know, this is probably never, we may never see this situation again. Of how it sits in there, you go down and you're dead end.
The lay of the lot.
The lay of the lot. I mean, it's a nice little lot for something like that, and it's not, I mean, I understand you set precedent, I understand it in things, but there's a whole reason we go through this for variances and unique situations. That's why we have this mechanism.
And I would rather see, you know, something that's aesthetically pleasing than just a concrete pad with an old shed sitting there, because that's been like that. How long has that lot been vacant for?
June of 2022, and we all know the storm that would have been.
yeah.
That was 22.
Yeah, it totally, like a big tree landed right down the
Well, I
center.
went and saw it.
It was toast.
Andrew, I don't disagree with you that lot has a unique use to it, but I think then maybe if that's the temperature of where we want to go, the zoning may need to change to something like a special use. Because I think once you allow that to happen on an R3 lot, you're going to have a very hard time telling other folks that own an R3 lot that they can't do that.
I agree.
Me personally.
Or amend 1325 to clarify that what zoning districts it applies to.
think that's a must, no matter what.
If you
That's a real scary thing, because
Yeah.
it could happen to a business district.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that.
I was thinking about that, I don't think it can. I don't think it could happen in a commercial, well, yes, it could
Yeah.
in downtown business district, it could, but not like B2.
Correct.
It couldn't.
But it could apply to the
It
downtown
could apply
business
to
district.
downtown.
Yeah.
Not the industrial.
Yeah.
I'm still confused why it's called Diamond Alley when it's on Coke Street.
That's always weird.
There's a diamond in the rough.
If
Right.
that's something you guys structure, I would be perfectly fine to drop the Diamond Alley. It does, it.
Oh, no, that's no issue,
Well, on the
I mean,
auditor's website, and like, the address is unclear to me. Like, I see it both ways.
We talked about that.
Yeah, it
the
is
day we
weird.
met.
I thought
It is, I know. I
That's
drove
why I
back there
couldn't find
too.
it.
Yeah. Well, Diamond Alley is,
Should we have him come back for variance on
I think we need to
So
allow
we
Nate
need
some
to-
additional time to
Mhm,
work with
I
Bob
agree.
to understand
the?
the
Yeah, if we could
dynamics.
kind of table
and
this until Bob
possibly
can.
ask for it to be rezoned,
Yeah.
if that's what Bob thinks. But I agree.
Yeah.
And then what about the garage? We still thought, I think that ought to be switched to the other end.
There's no way you
You
could drive.
can't.
There's no way you'd be able to drive it. You couldn't have a drive there.
You can't.
there's also a catch basin that's on
Yeah,
about the 2/3
I saw that.
section that, like, you would, if you would have a weird dip, it would,
Yeah.
and I guess, yeah, there isn't. We want to go down for a walk.
I don't know, we should go down that incline at night, you know?
Yeah.
We're in the book or up back.
They say no.
My
Yeah, there for that.
house was in a house all the time. I own the house.
Let's, if we can hold off until Bob can give it more clarification on.
The main
on this,
sewer line
then-
run all the way
We
down
need a
through.
motion either way,
Through there.
whatever you guys
All the
want to do.
houses are in that
Somebody
main
needs
sewer
to
line.
make a
So
motion.
I'll make a motion to table this pending
We had good-
consultation with the village solicitor
I run that
to
sucker
clarify
all the way down to Fairgrounds on that sewer line.
exactly
We get down to the flexi, they had that trestle.
what needs done.
Apply.
Yeah, how to apply.
Yeah, I'll second
it. And the
Does that
concentration.
extend our timeline out another month?
Yes.
We're kind of in a weird scenario with the divorce of the property that they're at. My cousin, not the one that's gonna be living in the home, is getting a divorce, and her husband is keeping the home where this mobile home is at. And there's some unfortunate tension with the sister still living there, and our timeline is just, we're ready to rock and roll as soon as we get the green light from you guys, because we just, it's not bad, but we're trying to get out before there's weird
Before there's
drama.
problems.
And there's no drama for my cousin, it's just the awkwardness of the divorce.
If Bob can review that sooner, can we call a meeting before the?
We could, yeah,
Then let's do that.
Yeah,
potentially have rather than waiting till the first week in
I appreciate
December.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
And we're trying to get it pulled together before weather gets cold, because they're gonna put a cement pad down, which will make the quality of the installation better. Like part of the cement pad you see was the old porch of the old trailer, and so for us with this home, where the trailer was gravel, and it had cement pads, like little pads.
Piers.
Oh.
And so they're going to concrete just to make it where it's almost a little bit overkill, but that's what they want. They really just want to settle it in and make it nice, and they have the capacity to do that if they want to. But when bad weather hits, it's hard to get those things done. We're gonna run a new water line from the meter, and just those excavation things, but we don't want to proceed on those logistics. So even once we get a green light, it'll still take us a month to get
Get
it.
it going.
that used to have a carport on the east side of it, is that what it was?
So, the mobile home had a attached enclosed back porch with a deck.
Yeah.
In the front, you could argue it's a carport, but it was more so just an aluminum porch with no carport.
My cousin lived there,
Yeah.
well, probably 25 years ago.
Yeah.
She rented it, yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather, Dandy, had lived there in the mid to late 90s.
Okay.
I think so.
And I bought it from him around 2012.
Yeah, bug in your throat.
Well, Bob comes back on Saturday,
Okay.
so as soon as we can have a chance to talk to him the beginning of next
Yeah.
week, we will reconvene and let everybody know.
Can't
And
believe that
change
one's
the
50
zoning
by
is
150,
easy.
that's an
Make
extra
that
lot.
What
What is it, 50
Okay.
feet
Problem with that though,
off
is
of
it's a
Cook
long
Street that way and
process.
150
Okay,
long?
3.5, 4 months.
okay.
What?
That could push us.
Change.
To rezone
Oh,
it.
yeah.
To go down to this
Yeah,
line.
we gotta go
Does
see.
take a
Those
long
kids line
time.
down there in this end of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a way we can change this, that we don't have to rezone it to make it applicable.
What would be your criteria, Nate, for other R3 zone properties?
I don't know, I'm thinking through that. I need to, Bob needs to look at it too. That's bottom
I'm
line.
trying to think, so give me an example of a couple of R3 zones in the village.
That whole neighborhood, pretty much all the residential neighborhoods are.
Yeah, my neighborhood was probably R3.
Have you had a lot of other requests denied for these in R3?
Lakeview,
Okay.
Lakeview,
That's R3, okay.
down your area.
My area, that's what I was gonna ask you.
If the cabins are special, why couldn't we make this part of that special?
So,
The cabins, right there, they're all right in the same area.
could, but it's just, it takes 3.5.
Yeah, like
months.
you should.
So we
Pardon?
have to have a,
It takes like 3.5, 4 months for a rezone
Change
to
zoning.
start to finish.
we have to have a public
Unless
meeting.
you guys say once it's underway,
The lot just
proceed, you don't have to wait till the end,
The
but that's,
garage is 24 feet.
that's a little bit of a risk.
Oh, shady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
such
we
a
never know
dead
how
end
council
place
will
that,
vote.
what
Yeah.
makes the difference
I'm
to
with
me
the one
there?
saying-
Yeah,
No
that-
other building's gonna go around,
Well,
I think it's a good use of a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
I really worry about its applicability to other neighborhoods where we would look at lots and think, no, we're not gonna wanna put this in here, and then
Well, maybe that's the defense, is that you do it on, that variances should be on a case by case.
That's what I
basis.
said.
But isn't that the exact reason for
Is
special
that lot
use?
behind, is that lot behind it landlocked? Can you get to that other lot behind there?
That's
Deed.
her lot.
That's her lot?
The one north of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
hers.
her.
That's hers. She's north.
And her terrain is even more challenging on that other lot.
She comes off 4 though, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
up around. So we have a motion and a second to table it pending consultation with Bob. You second it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Hoppy,
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Lodi,
Aye.
Kellogg,
Yes.
Gallion,
Aye.
Schrock,
Aye.
Shoemaker.
Aye.
Okay, so we will be in touch. Go from there.
If there's a path for a shorter time, I'd really appreciate it. If you see him, which is involved.
We appreciate you being here to tell us kind of the backstory so that we have a better understanding of
Yep,
why this needs to be the way
yep,
we appreciate that.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's a quirky lot, like, you know, when you look at it, the way it sits, either way, 50 feet of depth, it doesn't, you know, it gives you 10 feet, so it's
Not usable.
quirky.
That's all I had.
I did want to let everyone know that we have all of our legislation is the third reading on Monday night, so everything should be passing that we have suggested to council on Monday night as far as shipping containers. So I'm fully expecting that we'll have JJ coming back next week or next month.
Next month.
Next month, yeah. So I just wanted to let you all know that.
You have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.